Welcome back to another Dino Riders episode, everybody. And we've got the Pteranodon with Rasp, Series 1. This is a special Dino Rider, to me especially, because it was the first Dino Rider that I owned. After watching the cartoon for the first time and seeing those toy commercials, I just bugged my dad to take me to the local toy world so I could get myself one of these awesome toys. And yeah, I remember going to the toy store. They had the T-Rex there, the Diplodocus, Triceratops, all the Series 1 goodness. But you know, my dad could only afford to get me something that was mid-range, so I ended up picking up this one just because I liked Rasp as a character, and you know, it caught my eye. If I could go back, I probably would have picked maybe the Monoclonus because I think that's a better toy. But yeah, a lot of great memories. I remember we went to pick up my sister from school, and I was just in the car, just opening it up, trying to put it together, looking at the instructions, and a lot of great memories of this one, and that's why it holds a special place in my heart. It was the first Dino Rider that I owned, and you know, once you own one, you just want them all, and that goes with now as an adult collecting these. So I'm lucky, I've got both versions here. I've got the Japanese, and I think this is the English one. It's the English one. I think I've got the German one as well. This might be the English one, I think. A bit hard to tell, I think. Yeah, it is. So got both variants, and as you can see, two different box style of art, kind of. You know, got one with the real toy and the artwork, and so I'm going to review both of these in detail. We'll have a look at the differences and the similarities, and yeah, come join me, and we'll have a look at the Pteranodon with Rasp. So we have side by side both the releases, and I'll just say the English version and the Japanese version, and a few differences, obviously, one being the toy itself and one with the artwork. You can see the differences in the traps there, in the color, same kind of Pteranodon stuck there, but as you can see, there's a lot of chrome on the Japanese one, which makes it look really, really nice. And look, obviously that's the rule-on sign there that the English one doesn't have it. So let's have a look at each box in more detail. So we've got the classic English one, or Western release, and yeah, you got Rasp there getting shot by Tyrant, it looks like. So yeah, this was my first Dino Rider. Brings back so much memories seeing this on the shelf. So open it up, and yeah, you just got the features there. Very nice. It's much more of a brown Pteranodon, so obviously that looks like maybe a prototype, and that's black as well, instead of being clear. That looks nice, doesn't it, in black? Never noticed that. And here we got the contents. We'll take one of these guys out in a minute. Yeah, pretty good. And as you can see, it's got the brown trap there, but obviously it is grey. Just got some more what was on the front of the features. Nothing too fancy on the sides, just yeah. And classic Series 1 battle scene, and the Pteranodon with that black funnel piece, just the bio. So let's have a look at the Japanese version now. So much more simple design here, but I do like seeing the toy here. And let's have a closer look. As you can see, like all chrome, and those lasers are pretty cool. And Dino Riders, and you got the roll-on sign, kind of like Transformers, Decepticons and Autobots. And there we do have the grey trap. Alright, let's open it up. And here we've got the clear funnel that the Pteranodon's on, and you got Rasp holding his weapons, and it's more of the actual Pteranodon that you get, not that brownie one in the other variant. And more or less the same. This is actually unpunched. This one. So I'll take out the other one from the box. So on the top, more or less the same, just the features. On the side this time, we don't have Rasps getting shot. We've got the Pteranodon's face itself. In the back is much nicer battle scene there. Japanese battle scene is so much nicer. It's a bit more not as kiddie. Really cool. And we've got the bio there. And we've got the Rasp and the hierarchy there of the roll-ons. So let's have a look at the toy itself. I can barely get these two in the frame opened up, but I just want to see if there's any real differences. So this is the English one. We've all seen that. So this one's already been I'll just put that to the side because they are identical. Obviously the Japanese one is more in better version. It's more pristine. And so we look at the traps. They're pretty much identical. They're the same. But I'll take out the traps and we'll have a look at that in more detail in a sec. Everything is identical apart from these are all the same. Actually, I've got to make sure I remember which one's which. That one's the Japanese one. Put that on top. So the only differences really are the paper. Like this is just more silver. This is obviously this color. You know, we all know the standard comic book, but this is all. And these are the two comic books. This one's actually, there we go. Japanese one's obviously a bit different. It's completely different. And you know, we all know this one. It's like different artwork altogether. Whoops. And obviously different instructions. This is how the Japanese instruction looks like. We've got Rasp there, so yeah, just nothing too special. Okay, that's interesting. At the back got the Pteranodon there. And on this one we've got Rasp. So a few differences. So let's have a look at the Dino Rider itself. So we start off with the trap. Nothing too special with this. So it just folds down like this. And unfortunately this one is a little damaged. So it's not gonna work properly. So pretty much there's an elastic band and this is under tension. So once you fling that up, it just springs open. And obviously the gimmick is to catch pteranodons and brain box them. As you can see, I've got the elastic band there. So you've got one little hinge there. And it's hard to see. But on the bottom there should be another little hinge. Right there, but that's snapped off. And I've just packed up the Dino Rider away. So I'm not gonna pull it out of the box. So yeah, it's just like that, locked in, and bang. And then, look, it doesn't really matter. This is just more of a play function for kids. It does make a good display, but a display is fine like that anyway, so I'm not too fast about that. So let's have a look at the Dino Rider. So before I get to Rasp, this is the clear cone. And this one's in really good condition. These are always missing, so hard to find these. Sometimes they're yellowed, sometimes they're like cracked, or these bits are bent. So this one's in really good condition, and obviously Rasp is meant to stand on that. We can put him on top of it after we finish. And here we go, my first ever Dino Rider. Rasp. I have to say, like Rasps, he's one of the coolest figures, I reckon. There's a few variants of these snake guys, but he's one of the, I think he might be the only figure that's like in all black pretty much. And yeah, I really like his outfit. He's a classic character. Alright, so the Pteranodon, it's got the button like a lot of them have, like a gimmick, and I used to do this for hours. Great feature. The Quetz has it as well. Now you got the eye, the classic awesome eyes that Dino Riders have, the glass eyes. So we've got the brain box, which is one of the most common parts to lose on this. These are so easily to lose, and I'm sure I lost mine. This was probably the first thing that I've lost when I was a kid. You got some articulation as well with the dinosaur. It's not actually a dinosaur anyway, but you know what I mean. Tycho made really good dinosaur figures. And you got Rasp there, he's sitting in the chair, and that just kind of slots in there and clicks there. You'll find that sometimes these kind of like where the seats are, sometimes they're all bent and have stress marks. This piece, and you do get yellowing on these, especially the seat, and this piece seems to, the lighting is a bit, let's try and make the lighting a bit away. It's a bit hard to tell, that's the most yellowest piece. It's not that bad, but this piece tends to yellow more than everything else. And I'll show it at the end anyway. I've just got that in just slightly in there, because if you push it in all the way, it's very hard to take off. And because this is going back in the box, I don't want to risk breaking it, because usually being yellowed means more chance of breaking. And then we've got the cool classic guns, Series 1 guns. These are in good condition. They're not broken. Usually these always break from the tip. And this one's not on properly. Sometimes these clips can break as well, but generally it's there. So that's pretty much it. Pretty basic. And then you can put your weapons on Rasp and that he can hold. And this piece here, I'll just show. Yeah, so this piece, you can see it'd be better now compared to the chair. It's got a bit of yellowing. Yeah, usually these just break, you know, around there or whatever, and yeah, a bit fiddly to put back on. I won't put it back on, and I'll just move the camera down a bit and kind of gimmick is like that. If you want to display, I got my other ones displayed like that in the cabinet, but yeah, at the moment I've got a lot of things blocking the shelves and I wasn't able to access the one on display, so I had to pull the spare one out of the box. But anyway, this is Rasp, one of the more common Dino Riders. Everyone, if you collect Dino Riders, you know, pretty much there's nothing too much to this one, but yeah, this one holds a special place in my heart, being my first Dino Rider, and I've always preferred this one over the original quotes with Youngster. Just, I don't know, something just with those Rulon brain boxes and guns and so forth, and obviously as a kid that trap was a gimmick as well, so that I fell for. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this episode of Dino Riders, and I'll see you guys and gals soon.